What's up guys, it's Wil Mikahson and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be filming the long overdue Q&A that I posted on my Insta story a few weeks ago before my return to YouTube. I said that this Q&A was going to be the thing that made sure I stuck to my return to YouTube, and clearly I've stuck to my return to YouTube, but not my promise to bring you guys this video. But that'll end today as I am filming this. I am so excited. I've got great questions, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it. First and foremost, I'd like to thank all of my subscribers, new and old, and if you're new to my channel, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for breezing by my channel. I would love for you to take a browse around, look at my content. If you like my personality and my content, I would love for you to consider hitting the subscribe button and that notification bell so you get notified every single time I load new content. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a part 2 Q&A because some of you who do not follow me on Instagram, I don't know why. What are you waiting for? Why don't you follow me on Instagram? No, I'm just joking. If you don't follow me on Instagram, which is at Wil_Mikahson, I will give you guys an opportunity here to ask me some questions and I will answer them in a Q&A part 2. So let's start with number 1. This is from my girl, Sam the Purse Addict, and she asked me, when you start to lose motivation, what helps you keep going? I have such a great support system, my family and my friends, as well as some of you. So when I lose motivation, it's almost like my village, my tribe kicks in. Like, I work pretty hard a lot. So when my muscle is down, I've got the backup to the backup, and I don't even go into like survival mode to get my motivation back up. I have people that are in my ear, on my phone, in my inbox, like, what's going on? I'm praying for you, I love you. So I fortunately never have had to really pull myself up because I have such a wide net of a village that has been bestowed upon me thanks to the powers that be and the man upstairs, that I never ever really have to do some of that work to get me motivated again. I really have a great support system. So I thank my family, my friends, and like I said, you guys for keeping me motivated. The question is, why did you stop YouTube? And I think this question comes up a few times. So I'm gonna do a separate video about this, but I struggle with deep depression. And it's getting hot in here. Like, talking about this on camera is really difficult, but I struggle with really deep depression. And it's a 12-month thing. But around September, my birthday, up until just about springtime, so for about 6 months, so half of the year, it's really rough. It's hard for me to get out of bed. It's hard for me to talk to people. It's hard for me to film. It's hard to look in the mirror. It is difficult for me to exist on a day-to-day basis. And I was in such a space this last time that I didn't want to bring that negativity to my YouTube channel. And although I'm trying to change some dynamic in my channel and be a bit more transparent and do more lifestyle things and give you guys a little bit more of an intimate look into who I am, I also didn't want to be like a Debbie Downer and super negative and come on here and talk about the extremely dark place that I was in. So I literally just shut off the camera and decided to take the necessary time that I needed to ensure that I can come back to you guys as much as myself as I possibly could. So again, I would love to use this space to talk about that more and to connect with people more about depression. But you know, when you're trying to shift gears in your YouTube channel, it's difficult because people subscribe to you for one thing and then to force them to take another path. For example, Weekends with Wil. I've had so many people message me, which is a large component to why I walked away too, because I wanted to expand my channel and I had so many people who were not here for Weekends with Wil and were very vocal about that. So it just, on top of being depressed and feeling like I'm failing, I have these people in my mind almost confirming that. So I just took a break, and if you guys remember, I said in the video when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I said I will never, ever, ever worry about the numbers because this is a hobby for me. This is fun for me. I have a whole career. So I said if I ever started to focus on the numbers, I would scale back and reevaluate. And someone brought to my attention the numbers game and was like, oh, you're losing subscribers every time you load a Weekends with Wil video. And I allowed that to affect me. And then I started focusing on the number and watching the decrease in the number. And I was like, privilege revoked. You can't do this and have fun and not care about the number. Done. So that's where I was on my hiatus from YouTube, just getting myself together and trying to be a better me so that I can be a better Wil on camera for you guys. Whew, that was dark. Okay. Next question. I've been thinking about buying a pair of red bottoms. Do you think the cost is worth it for men? Well, I would want to counter that and ask you what specifically. I do not recommend anything trendy. That's just from my perspective. I prefer, if I'm going to spend the money that Louboutin is requiring for a pair of their shoes, it would have to be a classic shoe. You know, sneakers, nothing with the studs on them. If it's a classic derby shoe or loafer, absolutely, I would spend the money. I've never purchased a pair of red bottoms because of the price point. And I know that they have amazing services. If you do own a pair of their shoes, they have amazing services for repair and things of that nature. And those things are important to me. So if it was a place where you were just spending $1,100, $1,300 on a pair of shoes, and if something happened to it, they're like, oh well, I would advise against that. But Louboutin seems to have an amazing customer service and repair system. So I would definitely say, as long as it's nothing trendy, pull the trigger, go for it. They're classic shoes. They're beautiful shoes. I don't get the whole thing about the red bottom when they're gonna get destroyed, or if you have to get a protective sole to put on them anyway. So the whole red bottom thing is beside me. I don't understand that. But you know, we live in a society where when something's deemed the standard of beauty or quality, you know, you have to go for that. So I mean, I would much rather get a few pair of Mercanti Fiorentinis, or, you know, even a pair of Gucci loafers or drivers or something like that. I would rather spend the money in maybe an equally as high-end shoe, but just not so popular. Do you know what I mean? But absolutely, if you are down for the Louboutin game, do it. Again, don't go trendy. Stay the course of all things classic. I miss you, Wil. Where have you been and what have you been up to the past 6 months? I miss you too. That was my girl Yota Style Lux here on YouTube. Hey babe, I missed you as well. And as I mentioned in the last question, you guys know where I was and what I did. The next question is, I noticed that you travel a lot. Is it for work or pleasure? And what is your profession? So this is from my girl. I am Miss Kita 1. Hey Kita. I travel a lot for pleasure. I do not travel for work. And my profession is, I'm a cardiovascular ultrasound technologist. So I check your arteries in your neck. I look at your heart, arteries and veins in the legs, and things of that nature. As far as my travel, I know last year, and in general, I do like to travel. I like to travel as an escape from some of my realities. So, you know, like I said, I struggle with depression. So usually around like the August, September leading up, I can almost like see the depression like off in the distance. And I know that it gets worse around my birthday. So I usually in September, October, try to plan a little pocket trips here and there so that I can sort of combat the depression. It usually works, but it's like anything else, anything that's temporary. By the time I come back, it just consumes me. I will continue to travel because it does make me feel good. And as with most of us, I think most people travel to just sort of escape from our day-to-day craziness, whatever that may be for each of us individually. But yes, I do travel a lot. I plan on doing a lot more traveling next year. And of course, I will bring you guys along for the ride, as always. The next question is, are you now at peace with where you are? I'm in a much more peaceful place. I will say that. I'm not fully at peace because there's so many things that I still need to continue to work on within myself and to love myself and to accept myself. But I think the actual space that I'm in has given me so much peace. I have such amazing neighbors, and I've blossomed so much. I don't even know if I shared with many of you the reason why I was back home with my mother. So I had lived in the same town 2 blocks over for about 6 years. And I started dating my ex, and once I decided to move in up there, I kind of wanted to keep my apartment because I said my mother didn't raise a fool, and I'm not gonna give up this place that I built and made my own for 6 years and go up there. So I was balancing my apartment here, the apartment we got together up there, 2 dogs, and my aunt passed away and she left my mother and I this home, and it was just a lot of moving parts. My dog was at the house with my mother. Like I said, 2 puppies up there. So there was a lot going on. And like I said, my aunt passed away, and then in the midst of that, my relationship was crumbling. My mother wound up falling at Penn Station in between the train tracks, and she fractured her leg. So as I was already in the process of, I need to give up my apartment, she's like, I need you here. Like, I'm out of commission for 6 months. Your dog is here. I know you have a relationship and dogs up there and an apartment. Something's gotta give. So I said, okay, I'll give up my apartment, and I'll just go back and forth between his place and her and the house. It just got to be too much. But then my ex and I broke up literally like a month or 2 after I moved in. So my mother was like, great, I need you here anyway, pack it on in. So I was like, I'll give you 6 months, and then I gotta get back out. And my sister was still in college, so my mother was like, I have this big old house by myself, your dog is here, like, it just makes sense. And she would kind of guilt me into staying, and I felt so horrible, which added another layer to my depression, which intensified over the time that I was with her. So it was crazy. And when you're in a space where you feel like you don't really want to be there, but you feel like you need to be there, again, another layer of, there was a lack of peace there. There was a lack of happiness. There was so many things I was lacking, but felt guilty because I was with my mother, you know? And eventually this year I said, I have to pull the trigger. Like, she has to be a big girl and she can do this on her own. So it was hard for me to leave her because she was deeply saddened by it. But overall, I'm digressing tremendously. Overall, I am in a much more peaceful space, and I'm even seeing her find her peace in my absence. So yes, I'm still working on it, but I have found a little bit more peace. My girl Shells Gail, hey babes, she said, did you miss us as much as we missed you? And the answer is yes. I can't tell you guys how many times I would sit down and begin to record a video and press play, and I would start, and then, like I said, my depression stems from, I feel like it's physical. Like, I have body dysmorphia. I feel like I look like a troll, and it's very difficult for me even now to sit down and film. It always has been difficult for me to get in front of a camera and to film. So when my depression is at its peak, I press play and I look at myself in that viewfinder, and my eyes fill with tears, and it's just a mess. And then I shut it off and I just cry. So there were so many times that I wanted to connect with you guys and share even these intimate things with you guys, and I would press record and just could not do it. Even now, like, I'm like shaking, I'm sweating. Yeah, so I did miss you guys, and I wanted, again, so many times to film or to get on Instagram and, you know, get in my Insta stories and do IGTV or something, but I just could not do it. But that does not mean that I did not, and if I ever go away in the future, that I will not miss all of you guys. Victor 1991 asked me, do you prefer Gucci or LV? I have to say it's LV all the way. Gucci had a few years where they had my heart, but they're not consistent. Louis Vuitton, even when they have their crazy spells, they still remain some level of consistency even when they fall off the wagon a little bit. So for that alone, I will always pick LV over Gucci. My girl Lisa loves handbags. Hey babe. She said, what is your favorite luxury item that you currently own, and what is your #1 all-time wish list item? And I would have to say that my favorite luxury item that I currently own is my bouteille. I forget, I always screw up the pronunciation of this. But this is just one of my prized possessions. It is my absolute favorite thing to look at. It is displayed on the floor in my bedroom next to my mirror. And just to see it every day brings me so much joy. So that by far is my numero uno favorite luxury item. My number one all-time wish list item would be, I would have to say, again, it's that Cartier Panther bracelet that I just find to be so classy. It is gonna be on any jewelry video I do, any wish list item I do, you guys are always going to see or hear about that bracelet. It's just something about it. I find it so classic, so divine, so elegant, and I want to be able to rock it on my wrist one of these days soon. Someone else asked me, what were you up to during your YouTube hiatus? Again, I answered that. Oh, here's a good one. This is from my girl, Miss Morris for Life. Hey, babe. She said, hey, Will, where do you see yourself professionally and personally in the next 3 years? And would love to know if you have a bucket list and what, if so, one thing that's on it. So I will start with the first piece. Professionally, I do see myself sort of scaling back my work. I mentioned to you guys on a number of occasions that I have one full-time job and I'm an independent contractor at 2 other places, and I do have a per diem job at another hospital. I would like to see myself consolidate or just not really focus so much on money and just worry about being happy and living a more balanced work-life balance kind of situation. Which brings into my personal life. I would like to just have a little bit more time to myself. I literally am in the rat race 6 days out of the week, 5 of which I would do 2 jobs a day. And so I would like to just sort of have some more time for myself, some more time at home to meditate, peace, spend more time with my friends, my family. I think that those things are a lot more important. And as we get older, that shift happens where you realize it's not about the money, it's not about the things, it's about the memories and love and people and relationships. So I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, all this money it's really not worth it because I'm missing out on people's birthdays and, you know, little things with my nieces and nephews and, you know, just so many things I'm missing out on because I'm chasing that dollar. So I would like to just sort of have a better work-life balance in the next 3 years. Part 2 of your question is, do I have a bucket list? I do have a huge bucket list. And one of the items on my bucket list, which I was gonna cross off this summer because I thought I was gonna go with someone romantically, but that never happened. I want to do the hot air balloon ride. There's a festival here in New Jersey that happens every July. And while it's a small ride and it doesn't go so high and it's not so long, I think that it's going to be the gateway to getting me to do more hot air balloon rides. If you guys do not know, I have a huge fear of heights. So this is me just trying to conquer that. I have a fear of heights, but I love being up in the air. Like I love when I'm in an airplane and I look out the window and the majestic clouds and the sunsets and things of that nature. So I do want to eventually do a better hot air balloon ride, like in Morocco perhaps, or Marrakesh in Africa. But for now, I'm gonna start with doing the hot air balloon ride festival here in New Jersey. This is from my girl Kim. Hey Kim, Windfire 69K. She says, hey boo, what's your date of birth? I am born September 19th, 1981, and I am going to be 38 years old. Keyword is old. This year, actually next month, so that is that. Team Virgo all the way. My girl Cindy, hello Cindy, she asked me, what's one thing that scares you? And there's 2 things, but I'm not gonna be morbid because I would have to explain more in the second part of that. But I will say the one thing that scares me is being alone. Growing old alone, not finding love. Being alone scares the out of me, okay? Which is another layer to my depression because I have anxiety around that, but we won't go into that. That answers your question. Being alone. Also from Cindy is, how do you keep your skin so flawless? Well, I am on a journey to stay hydrated, that's number one. So drinking the right amount of ounces of water per day for me, based on my body weight, is 127 ounces of water, which is a lot. I do not meet that number every day, but I strive for it every single day. And then I just have a really, really good skincare regimen. I use Ole Henriksen products, and I use a Clarisonic to clean my skin. And it's worked for me. And I have to say, like, it's also genetics. My family has pretty good skin. So while I see like a couple lines here and there and imperfections, I have to say that overall I am blessed with pretty good skin. Glamorously Gray Life asks me, if you have been to San Francisco, what are some restaurants that you recommend? I've never been to San Francisco. It is on my bucket list. To answer Miss Morris, it is on my bucket list, and you guys know I'm a foodie. If you guys are into my vlogs, you know I am a foodie. So I don't know any restaurants in San Francisco, but I definitely will report back when I do get to San Francisco. I will let you guys know my top picks. RCamT01, hey babe, she said, are you traveling this summer? And the answer is no. As you guys know, I just moved into this lovely apartment, and furnishing it it's quite costly. So I have been really focusing on just building my space and making it my own, and traveling will resume at the top of the new year. RCamT01 also asked me, how is your clothing line going? Well, when I stepped away from YouTube, I stepped away from all things creative, and I thought that I was just this huge failure. And I thought, no one really cares, no one's gonna buy into it. I don't know how to start up a business. I don't have a marketing background or anything like that, and I know that I have resources to do it, but again, I was so down on myself that I didn't think I could, so I threw it on the back burner. But I'm happy to say that I have a few people who've reached out to me. I have people in my family who are into apparel design, so I am planning on getting that back up and running, hopefully at the top of the new year. My girl, the style synonym, hey babe, she said, how have you been? So excited to see you back. Thank you so much. It feels good to be back, and I've been much better since I've been, again, in my new space. It feels really good to just sort of be able to come home after a long day and is mine. You know, I can, whether I'm happy or sad or indifferent, I can come home and I can be me. I can walk around, I can, you know, there's projects in here to keep me busy. So I've been really good, I have to say. I've had a lot of bad days because it's lonely. I don't have my dog here. I don't have, as much as I was kind of annoyed to come home to my mom for the last couple of years, it's coming home to an empty space sucks. But again, I've got great roommates. I always call my neighbors my roommates. I have great neighbors. So typically when I come home at midnight on a Friday night, they're like, what's up? We're drinking, come over, like, where are we going? And Saturdays, I usually spend time with them. So Monday through Thursday can be pretty lonely, but again, I do also need some me time as well. I am that introverted extrovert, so I need that balance. So I'm getting it right now. So I have to say, overall, I've been well. My girl Deb from JLux TV, hey babes, she said, how is the new place? Why have you been away so long? So I answered why I've been away. And the new place, as I've been saying, is lovely. I am just decorating and having a good time doing that and enjoying my neighbors and the neighborhood. Again, I used to live 2 blocks from here in a very small building, and this town has just, this city has blossomed. So many restaurants and bars and lounges within feet from me. So it's been just a lot of, like, you know, re-exploring and getting to know this area again. So it's the new place is great, and I can't wait to have some of my YouTube friends over when you're back in the area, especially you, Deb. My girl Y Handbags asked me, what's your latest purchase? I just recently did an unboxing with you guys, and you guys can see that it was my steamer backpack and my bum bag. Those were the last things that I really purchased. I do have a big unboxing coming up, which is really the last thing that I purchased, but I can't reveal that just yet because it's coming up, but it's a big boy purchase from Louis Vuitton, I will give you that much. And it is a big boy purchase. So yeah, the steamer backpack, the bum bag, and this up and coming big boy purchase are the last things that I purchased lately. My darling dear Brooklyn Bridge 225 asked me, have I found new love? And the answer is, I'm in the pursuit of new love, and that is within myself. I have placed so much emphasis, as a lot of people do in this society that we live in, on external love, finding someone to love us. And I think that we should really be in the pursuit of loving ourselves, loving a higher power. So I've really been just trying to nurture myself and love myself, and that's new love in itself, because again, I've never really loved myself. I've acted like it, I've faked it, I've purchased things to say, ooh, look, you love yourself. And you know, I've done that whole thing. I gotta spoil myself because nobody else will, you know, kind of thing. And it's a false sense of love. And I'm really doing a lot of the hard work, back to journaling. I'm gonna get back into therapy just to rediscover me. Who I am, what makes me happy, what makes me sad. I mean, I know what makes me sad, but redefining those things, redefining me and the love that I desire for myself. So that is the new love that I am in the pursuit of. And who knows, maybe romantic love will come as the new love that I have for myself will radiate and maybe attract a different type of person or someone, period. This is from my girl, Just Me and My Lux. Hey babe. She said, do you feel your current Lux collection is where you'd like it to be? Any regrets? And the answer is yes. I am so content with my current Lux collection. There is literally nothing else that I want or need, give or take, like I said, my Cartier bracelet. But for the most part, from jewelry to watches to bags and wallets and sunglasses, I am beyond blessed. And there's nothing that I want right now. I'm really good. I would say regret-wise, there is a yellow briefcase that I have, a Porte Document in Damier Infini. I got it because I was obsessed with the Damier Infini leather, and I told myself I would buy that bag to wear in the summertime if I go walk to Starbucks and I plan on vlogging and I need to carry my laptop. That hasn't happened. So while it's a beautiful bag to look at, it just wasted money sitting in my closet. So that is a bag that I regret buying. And then I think the Neptune Porte Document Jour, which is a smaller version of that. They're the only two pops of color in my collection, and I just feel like for my lifestyle, I can't really justify a pop of color like that. I'm not walking into a hospital with a bright yellow bag. And again, on the weekends, I really am not stepping out to Starbucks or, you know, an outdoor restaurant to work on YouTube things because I have a space now. When I brought those things, I was at the house with my mother, and sometimes I needed to get out and edit in other spaces. So my mindset was different back then. I'm not saying I'm gonna get rid of the bags, but it's a consideration. It's definitely up there. So those are my only two regrets. My boy Jay Henderson, what's up? He said, can you show us your watches and what watches do you have? Also, what belts do you have? I will do a watch collection video and a belt collection video. I have Ferragamo belts and Hermes belts, and the one Louis belt that I had, I sold it. Everything else is just kind of basic belts. Those are the only 4 Lux belts that I have. And watches, I have my 2 vintage Rolexes. I have a plethora of Movados. I have Officina del Tempo watches. I'm not really a watch snob like that. I have a couple Donna Karens, I have Levian watches. But again, I will do a whole watch video and a belt video. I am gonna do a whole series called Wil Mikahson, The Collections, coming to a YouTube channel near you. Okay guys, so that's all the questions that I received for my Q&A. I'm sorry if it was a long video. I tried to make it short. This is what happens when I don't do a sit down video for a while. I just sit down and blah, 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 just start rambling. So again, here's your opportunity. If you did not get to ask me a question on my IG Q&A, you can leave me a question down in the comment section below, and I promise to do a part 2 Q&A in the next coming weeks, and it will not take as long as it took me to do this one. Thank you so much to everybody who asked me a question. I answered them to the best of my ability, as honest as I possibly could. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.